What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very special episode. I took a lesson with Specto Go, and stay tuned after the intro to see how it went. So one of the big things that I've been working on lately is trying to increase my rev rate, because I always felt that it was extremely low, but I didn't know what it actually was. But aside from not knowing what my rev rate was, I didn't know how to fix it and how to increase the rev rate. So I got hooked up with Johnny Petraglia Jr., Brunswick staffer, vice staffer, and director of Beyond the Line. The first session I had with them was more of a baseline to determine what was going on, what was causing that lower rev rate. So I came back that my rev rate on average was between 250 and 270, and I had like this hitch in my backswing, and that was causing me to lose it at the bottom. So after fixing that, I got my average to about 310, 315. And then in my second session, we continued to work on what we worked on in the first session. And now I got it up to about an average of 360, 370. What I really liked about working with Johnny was that he didn't just tell me do this, do this, do this. He explained to me, this is what's causing your rev rate to be lower. If you want to fix it, these are the things that we need to fix. Basically, what I figured out is that I needed to find a way to get my ball into a slot in my swing and keep it there. Because before I was doing all this extra stuff and that was no good. That was causing me to lose it at the bottom. It was causing me to spin the ball a lot more. My PAP actually went from 3 over by 0 to 4 1/4 over by an 1/8 up. And as you can see in the videos that I'm about to show you, I'm not doing all that extra motion. It's actually just going straight back and straight down. I mean, there's still a little bit of a hitch, but most of it is gone. Also, guys, if you like the video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date every time I drop a new video. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have taken any lessons, or if you guys have ever used Specto and what your rev rate is, how accurate you guys are. Let me know what your PAP is. Let's keep the conversation going in the chat. If you like this wicked hibiscus jersey from Logo Infusion, head on over to logoinfusion.com, use promo code Lewis, and save you 20% off. I'll cut to JPJ right now so that he can explain to you guys what it is I've been working on and what Beyond the Line is all about using Specto Go.
What's up, everybody? Johnny Petraglia Jr. It's a pleasure being here with you today. I've been working with Lewis Napoles from Team Motive here over the course of the past 2 weeks. One of the big things Lou was curious about was actually how to raise his rev rate. So the first thing that we noticed after taking a little bit of analysis off of Specto was, number one, his launch angles were good, his lines were good. He was just losing a little bit of leverage at the foul line, and we figured it out that a specific hinge was going the wrong direction at the wrong time. In other words, at the peak of his backswing, he had a tendency of uncoiling and then coming down on top of the ball rather than behind it. Two things that will always do to your ball roll is, number one, give you the tendency to thumb down, spin it a little bit. Unfortunately, at that point, you lose direction through the front part of the lane. You also lose continuation down lane. So what we did was we actually got rid of the hitch by eliminating and forcing his hand to stay in a constant position at the top. Very much the way that Chris Barnes would do. The more loaded you are at the start, the more you can maintain that position, the more you can uncoil forward. Extension of the elbow through the target, creating more length and more direction in the front part of the lane. And I think in the first half hour we looked at the RPMs. Lou was somewhere in the low 300s. He's actually motioning to me 250 to 275. And in just changing that one thing, adding a couple leverage points, a little more continuation through the foul line, today after an analysis of about 35 shots, we got his rev rate range anywhere from 350 to about 390, with a couple of them eclipsing 400. So just tiny things like that with the technology that we have on hand with the Specto Go. The biggest thing that I find is when you can research the shots that are bad, just like a pro baseball player focuses on, if they can't hit a changeup, they learn how to figure out either moving up in the box or finding the arm speed of a pitcher. We had to figure out the things that were catering to Lewis's problems. Once you identify the problem, it's the easiest way to fix it. You can hone in on 1, 2, maybe 3 items, and then from there, you can build the rest of your game around it. We've also thrown in a couple different practice sessions. Specto offers something called the 10x1. The 10x1, if I could think of the first person I think that would ace that test, it's Parker Bone III. You get 10 shots. You have a 0.6 mile an hour span of speed. You have a half board to hit at the arrows and maybe a full board to hit at the break point. All of those have to hit exactly within in order for you to score 100%. Today, Lewis, his target was between 11.5 and 12.7 at the arrows, an average speed of 18.1 to 18.7, and the ball had to be somewhere around 10 to 11 at the break point, 10 to 12 at the break point. He executed 5 shots absolutely perfectly. Oh, also staying within the same RPM range, only ranging 20,000, so 20 RPMs. He aced 5 shots. 3 shots missed by less than a quarter of a board, which equates to a failure, and he threw 2 errant shots. And those errant shots only missed by a total of 2 boards. So anything you could ever possibly want to know about your bowling game, if you ever come and see us at Beyond the Line and you're curious about one thing, your launch angle, your speed consistency, your direction, and lane play, anything you ever want to know about your game, if you have an idea of what you're not good at, we will figure out a way to make you good at it. That's why we do what we do, and we absolutely love doing what we do. I hope this helps everybody. Feel free to reach out, btlbowling@gmail.com, and you could also visit our website, btlbowling.com. JPJ signing off. Lou, best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you. Let me take you guys on the lanes right now so you guys can see what we've been working out. Check it out. These shots you'll see me throwing here are all the shots I recorded during my Beyond the Line Specto session. I threw the pink-yellow thrill for one shot and realized I needed something bigger and went to the Forge Fire and stayed in that one pretty much the entire session. I also threw the Ripcord Flight a little towards the end to see what it looked like with the new hand position. All I'm doing here in these shots is trying to get the ball into a slot that's comfortable for me and one that I can keep the ball in for the duration of my backswing. I really like the direction in which my game is going, and I thank you for joining me on this journey. My big issue has always been to spin the ball instead of rolling it, so focusing on restricting the movement in my backswing has helped tremendously in that regard. As you can see in these videos, with the help of JPJ, I have almost completely eliminated the hitch in my backswing, and as a result have seen my rev rate soar and have noticed my ball speed has gone up as well without forcing it. I am also seeing that because my ball is rolling much more forward instead of spinning, I am seeing my ball get into the hook phase sooner and getting way better carry than I've ever seen. Plus, because my ball is reading sooner, it makes it much more controllable and easier to get lined up and make the proper moves. When I had the hitch in my backswing, I found it very difficult to chase the pattern in when I had to because my rev rate was so low. Since eliminating most of that hitch, I have found it way easier to get left when the pattern dictates. I still prefer to play as straight as possible, and the added speed and rev rate helps me to get some pretty nice carry. If you're having some of the same issues that I've been having with spinning the ball and that hitch in the backswing, I would highly recommend getting yourself a camera, even just your phone camera, just something that you can record because the camera doesn't lie. We all have this tendency to think something completely different than what the camera sees. Then you'll have an idea of what you can focus on in your practice sessions.
Yeah!
Obviously, no one is perfect, but I'm here to get better each and every single day. The Forge Fire gave me an unbelievable look on the lanes, and the Ripcord Flight looked like money when I firmed up and played a little straighter. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for next time. Click right here to watch one of my older videos. Click right here to subscribe.